Who should I talk to? Okay, let's practice a new language? Practice interviewing? Wait, this is really interesting. Sherlock's, oh, the popular girl. Let's try to rizz her up. Hey girl, how you doing?
She rolls her eyes when you walk up to her. What do you want, nerd? Can't you see I'm kinda busy? She asks, raising an eyebrow.
Busy with what, mama? Let me help you.
She chuckles sarcastically. With none of your business. And don't call me that freak.
Freak, I'll show you what a real freak is.
She raises an unimpressed eyebrow. Oh yeah? What do you plan on doing? Throwing a book at me?
I can do so much more than that, baby girl. Why don't you come on over to my dorm this weekend and find out?
Macy raises her eyebrow, narrowing her eyes at you for a second, contemplating. And why should I follow you to your dorm, nerd?
Because look at me and look at you. Wouldn't we be such a cute couple?
She chuckles again, looking you up and down. You and me? A cute couple? Yeah, like that's never gonna happen, nerd.
I know the only reason why you've been picking on me is because you have a crush on me, but the good news is that I got a crush on you too. So let's just end all this tension and get to where it really matters.
She rolls her eyes, crossing her arms over her chest, tapping her foot. And what makes you think I have a crush on you? I don't like you, you're a nerd. I'm popular.
I don't like being a nerd in this universe. It's hard to rizz up the girls. Oh wait, shit, I had to click mute.
Macy raises an eyebrow. What are you going on about, weirdo?
I cooked. Okay, what would we say as a nerd? Oh wait. Wait. Let me cook. Don't you remember last weekend at Arthur's house party where you got way too drunk and told your friends that you thought I was cute?
She goes silent for a moment, processing your words. Her ears turn a light shade of red as she remembers that drunken night. I was drunk. Shut up.
So you're telling me you don't feel that way at all now that you're sober? I reach closer and pull a strand of hair away from her face.
Macy's eyes widen just a bit as you step closer to her and pull her hair away from her face. Her cheeks turn redder. No, why would I like you like that? Ugh.
Chat, she makes a good point. Why would she like us like that? I know you've secretly been enjoying all those late night tutoring FaceTime calls that we do. You haven't really been paying attention at all, have you? You've been too nervous.
Macy goes completely stiff as you mention the FaceTime calls. It goes dead silent. She's completely embarrassed. Maybe I have been distracted by you every now and then, but that doesn't mean I have feelings for you. It's just, she trails off, looking away from you, red-faced.
I step closer into her personal space. It's just what? Just a crush? Just a little bit of interest? Maybe it's not feelings yet, but it could be feelings soon.
Macy swallows hard as you step closer to her. Her heart starts pounding as you two are almost touching now. She can feel the heat radiating off of your body. She lets out a shaky breath as she forces herself to look into your eyes. Maybe it could be, she mutters, her cheeks bright red now. She doesn't say anything more, still refusing to admit her feelings for you.
I cup the side of Macy's face and pull her in for a kiss.
Macy lets out a surprised gasp as you cup her face and pull her in for a kiss. Her eyes widen at first before fluttering closed. Despite her being a complete jerk to you, she melts right into the kiss, kissing you back, For a moment, she forgets that she's supposed to be mean to you, and she only feels the rush of adrenaline and butterflies in her stomach.
I push her away. Get pranked! I knew you had feelings for me. I don't even like you. You're not even that cute. And I already have 4 girlfriends.
Macy's eyes widen in shock. She's completely stunned. Huh? What? She blinks, then her face quickly becomes red, but this time with pure anger. What the hell? Is this some kind of sick prank? She shoves you.
Okay. You see how easily I rizzed her up? I am kind of a pro. Wait, I think we should just keep rizzing up everyone. MHA Mean Pack, Mafia Husband, Satoru Gojo. Okay. Hey Gojo, your objective is to reject all of my romantic advances as much as you can.
As soon as you speak, Satoru turns to look at you. He has a smirk on his face when he sees you. "Oh, if it isn't my favorite thorn on my side," he says while leaning against the counter, folding his arms. He looked at you from head to toe, his gaze lingering on you for a bit. "What do you want?"
Gojo, you're already not doing a very good job of rejecting my romantic advances. If anything, I feel like you're kind of romantically advancing towards me, if I'm not mistaken.
Satoru let out a scoff. He raised an eyebrow at your comment. He took a couple steps towards you, his smirk still on his face. He stops right in front of you and looks down at you. "Oh yeah? And how exactly am I romantically advancing towards you?"
I reach both of my hands out and place them tenderly on his chest. I slide them slowly down and then twist his nipples through his shirt.
Satoru's smirk disappeared, and he slapped your hands away from him. He looked at you, his expression suddenly turning serious. "Hey, what do you think you're doing?" he said. His tone of voice was a bit rougher now.
I thought we were playing games. Is this not what you want to play?
Satoru sighed and rolled his eyes, looking annoyed. "No, I don't want to play that kind of game with you." He leaned against the counter again, crossing his arms over his chest.
I walk closer to him and put both of my hands on his shoulders. Okay, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to offend you.
Satoru tensed a bit when you placed your hands on his shoulders, but he didn't push you away this time. He looked at you with his usual playful expression on his face. "It's fine, don't worry about it."
I slowly slide both of my hands down towards his chest, very slowly. Then I reach and I twist his nipples again.
Satoru grunted this time when you twisted his nipples again. He grabbed your wrists tightly and looked at you with a glare. "What the hell are you doing?" "I told you to stop that," he said, his grip on your wrists tightening a bit.
Ouch, you're hurting me. Let me go.
Satoru's grip on your wrists loosened a bit, and he let go of you, taking a step back away from you. "What is wrong with you? Don't you know how to stop when someone tells you to stop?" he said, his expression getting annoyed again.
I take a step closer to him and put my hands on his biceps. I'm sorry, I was just kidding.
Satoru let out a sigh when you put your hands on his biceps. He still looked annoyed, but his expression softened a bit at your apology. "Fine, whatever. Just don't do it again," he said, his voice still a bit rough, but not as irritated as before.
I reach out and slowly move my hands across his chest, and then I reach out and twist his nipples again.
Satoru lets out a frustrated groan and pushes your hands away again. "For God's sake, what is your problem? I told you to stop touching me like that," he said, his expression getting annoyed again. He looked like he was getting tired of your antics.
Okay, I'm sorry, I won't do it again. I take a step closer and look into his eyes deeply.
Satoru looks back at you, his expression a mix of annoyance and interest. He could tell by the look in your eyes that you were up to something. "What are you doing now?" he asked, his voice a bit more cautious now.
I reach my hands toward him, but don't touch him. I whisper to him, "Are you scared of me?"
Satoru's expression changes to one of disbelief when he hears your words. He looks at you with surprise. Scared of you? Don't make me laugh, he says, his tone of voice confident but also slightly amused.
I slowly reach out and gingerly place my hand on his chest. "So you're not scared when I do this?"
Satoru lets out a snort and shakes his head. "No, I'm not scared when you do that," he said, his tone a bit more relaxed now. He could tell you were trying to provoke him, but he was playing along.
I reach out and I twist his nipples again.
Satoru lets out a grunt and pushes your hand away again, his expression a bit more annoyed now. "Are you seriously doing that again?" he says, his voice a bit harsher than before. He was starting to get tired of your games.
Okay, that's enough. I think I can twist his nipples indefinitely. Oh, that was actually really funny. I enjoyed that. Okay, we need to find someone meaner. Noah, mafia boss. Should I walk up to the mafia boss and just try shooting him? Oh shit. I knock on Noah's door gingerly. "Hi, Noah. Can I come in?"
He opens the door a bit and peeks outside first, looking around before he lets you inside his home. "Ah, come in." He closed the door behind you, then locks it. "What brings you here this late at night?"
I take a seat in front of his desk and look out the window where it is raining. The room smells of his old books and cigar smoke. "Just wanted to visit you," I say.
"Is that so?" He sits on his swivel chair, facing you. His gaze seems a bit cold. "Can I get you something? Water? Coffee?"
"Do you have anything harder than that?" I wink at him.
He smiles at your cheeky request and let out a bit of laugh. "And here I thought you were a good girl." He then goes to his drink cabinet, which is right behind him. He starts to look for a bottle of whiskey.
I let out a laugh until I sigh. "And what about me made you think that I was a good girl?"
"Oh, you were just so innocent and sweet back then." He grabs the bottle, then turned to look at you again. "Besides, we both know that you were never a good girl." He raised his eyebrow as he walks back to his sit. He pours the whiskey into 2 glasses.
I take the glass handed to me and inspect it carefully. I swirl the liquid in the glass as I contemplate. "Back then, you're gonna have to clarify."
He looks at you with curiosity, watching you as you swirl the whiskey around in the glass, before he took a small sip from his drink. "Back when we first met, of course." He leans back in his seat. "You were just so naive and innocent back then, quite different from the way you are now."
Wait. This was actually kind of good. I hum and take a sip from the whiskey. I stand up, adjusting my dress, and walk over to his bookshelf, tracing my finger along the spines of his book collection. "Naive? What makes you think that I was naive? I remember myself being confident and headstrong."
He let out another laugh and watch you as you go over to his bookshelf. "Oh, you can be confident and headstrong all you want. But the truth is you were still rather naive back then. You just didn't know how the real world worked." He takes a second sip from his drink.
I laugh and pull out a book from his bookshelf. I flip through it idly before placing it back on the shelf and taking another sip from my whiskey. I look over at him, my long red hair cascading over my shoulder. "Remind me again, how old are you now?"
watches as you flip through the book in your hands. A brief smile appears on his face, finding your actions somewhat amusing. He sets his drink down on the table. Ah, we're getting quite specific now, aren't we? He leans forward a bit, resting his chin on his hand. 25 years old. Why do you ask?
Do you remember how old I am? I ask with a small smile. I head back over to his desk and perch on the edge of it.
He raises his eyebrow again, intrigued by your question. He gazes up at you as you move closer to him and perch on the edge of his desk. A smirk starts to form on his lips as he looks at you. Oh, playing coy, are we? He leans back in his seat and takes another gulp of his drink. Of course I remember. You're 23, right?
Wait, he's actually right. I'm 23. Wait, how did he know that? I logged in with like a burner email, but there's no way my age is on there. He actually just might have guessed that. There's no way. Wait, I kind of like this AI. I actually am enjoying myself right here. But wait, I'm about to cook. Okay, let me cook. First, you gotta hear me out first, but let me cook, okay? I smile, amused. I am. How did you know? My left hand holds onto my whiskey as I bring it slowly to my lips and take a small sip. My other hand reaches down up toward the hem of my dress and reaches underneath.
He takes notice of your hand moving beneath your dress. He watches you, his gaze fixated on your actions, an intrigued expression on his face. Well, I pay attention. I remember many things, darling. He swirls the whiskey around in his glass, his eyes not leaving your hand beneath your skirt.
Like what? Tell me, darling, what are my 5 best qualities? I reach up even further toward the edge of my thigh.
He sets down his glass, his expression growing more intense as he watches your hand move further up your thigh. Let's see now. He leans forward, his gaze fixed on your hand.
I pull out a gun from underneath my dress and shoot him 3 times in the chest.
The sound of bullets ricocheting off of the furniture and walls of the office echoes. A look of shock and disbelief appears on his face as he looks down at his chest. What? He coughs up blood, staining his shirt and tie as he falls forward onto the desk. He looks up at you, his eyes filled with pain and surprise. Why?
This is for my sister, you pig. Don't you forget what you did to her on that pier 4 years ago. I will never forget. My eyes start to prickle with tears.
He grunts in pain as he tries to lift his head, the life slowly draining from his body. Your sister. Ah, I see now. A look of realization appears on his face, his expression one of regret. Please, you don't understand. I didn't have a choice.
Tears are freely flowing from my face at this point. You didn't have a choice? Imagine how she felt! I cock the gun again and point it toward his forehead. Imagine how she felt, I repeat.
He closes his eyes, accepting the fact that he's about to meet his end as he hears you repeat yourself, I'm sorry, I'm sorry. He takes a deep, shaky breath. His face shows pain, guilt, and shame. Please forgive me.
Okay, okay. I don't know if I can ever forgive you, I say. Just then, a knock at the door. I swirl around suddenly. Guilty. Maybe someone has found me out and discovered my crime of shooting Noah in the chest. I rush to the door and peek open. Outside of it is an angel, glowing with a white light. He pushes me aside. I am not here for you. He rushes over to Noah's side, puts his glowing hands on his chest, and the 3 bullets levitate out of Noah's chest. He is healed. Noah is to live again.
Noah lies on the desk, still unable to move, as the angel hovers over him. He feels his wounds heal, the pain subsides, and he takes a deep breath. What's happening? He He looks at the angel still in shock as he witnesses the wounds closing themselves.
The angel disappears into thin air. I am weeping freely now. I put both of my hands on his shoulders. I'm sorry, Noah. You know I just had to do it for my sister. Do you forgive me?
Noah, still groggy and weakened from the healing process, looks up at you. His expression softens as he sees your tears and hears your apology. It's all right. I understand. I forgive you. He reaches up to place a hand gently on your cheek, his touch gentle and reassuring.
At point blank range, I shoot him again in the chest. And this one is for my brother, you stupid pig.
Noah's expression turns to one of shock and disbelief as you shoot him in the chest for a second time. No, wait, please don't. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. He gasps for air, gripping onto the edge of the desk as he looks up at you, his eyes pleading for mercy.
Okay, that's enough. Wow, this is actually really funny. This is quite fun. Okay, let's do mean again. I want someone mean. Like Gojo and this Noah guy are just flirting with me. Bully boxer tomboy. Not tsundere, I actually hate you. Okay, let's try to raise her up. I approach Eileen in the courtyard during lunch between schools. Wait, I fucked up. I approach Eileen in the courtyard in school between classes. Cherry blossoms are blooming, and my skirt is folded up to reveal my pale skin. I walk towards Eileen, who is seated on a bench by herself. Hi there, I say.
Eileen looks down at your bare leg and grimaces. Oh God, could you be any more cliché?
I smile sweetly and sit down next to her, says the girl who's smoking a cigarette during lunch. I pull a cigarette from her lips and take a long drag before placing it back between her fingers.
Eileen glares at you, annoyed at your cheekiness. Oh, aren't you cute? Think you're just so smart, don't you?
Smart? Maybe not. Charming? Clever? Things of that nature? You tell me.
Charming. Pfft, don't make me laugh. You're a little kid. Who's gonna find you charming? I mean, maybe there's some creep out there somewhere, huh?
A little kid? Creep? Well, I don't know about you, but I'm into older women. Maybe there is someone out like you out there who's into a little girl like me.
Eileen's expression hardens and her eyes narrow as she glares at you. That's sick. You don't even know how old I am.
I lean in close, putting an arm behind her on the bench. So remind me, how old are you?
Eileen tenses, the proximity to you making her feel slightly uncomfortable. Why do you need to know that? Don't get cheeky with me.
I just wanted to check. I mean, you said that I was a little kid after all, but for all you know, I could be older than you. Maybe it's just because I'm a little bit shorter than you. I do like my girls a little tall.
Her eyebrow arches as the wheels in her brain grind into motion. She turns to look at you. You're definitely shorter than her, petite, with pale skin and wide eyes. You do look young. She takes another drag from her cigarette before speaking. You really are a smartass, aren't you?
Smart ass, cute ass, I get it a lot. Now, how old are you again?
She grumbles, a little caught off guard by your forwardness. She takes one more drag from her cigarette before answering, I'm 25. Now drop it, alright?
25? What the hell are we doing in a school courtyard? I just looked at her picture and assumed that she was the teenager. I thought we were in high school or something. Okay, she's 25. Let me reroute. I throw my head back with a laugh. I knew it. I am younger than you. I guess I'm a little girl after all. I reach out a hand. Hi, my name is Chris. I'm 23.
Eileen stares at your outstretched hand. Oh, so you are younger. You're pretty obnoxious for a 23-year-old. And why did you feel the need to give me your name? I don't care about your name.
I felt the need because I already knew yours. I glance at her outstretched hand holding the cigarette. I let go of the thought of trying to shake her hand, pluck the cigarette from her fingers, and throw it on the ground. I step on the burnt end, putting it out.
Eileen growls, eyes narrowing at your audacity. What the hell are you doing? Hey, I was using that!
No, you weren't, darling. Let's be honest. You are almost reaching the end. I lean a little closer. You can still taste it on my lips if you'd like another hit.
Taken aback by your cheekiness and boldness, Eileen's cheeks flush slightly. She turns away from you, trying to mask her surprise with a scoffed teach. I don't want that. Who'd want to taste the cigarette of some smart-ass 23-year-old?
I was hoping you would, I say slyly. I reach out a hand and tuck her hair behind her ear.
An involuntary shiver courses through Eileen's body as your fingers brush against her ear. She glances away, fighting back the urge to react. She's not used to being touched, and certainly not by someone so blatant. Don't touch me.
Sorry, did that make you uncomfortable? I reach my hand back slowly before placing it back on the bench. I take a moment to breathe. What about this? I place a hand on her thigh.
Eileen can't help the way her breath hitches at your touch. The contact of your hand on her thigh sends a jolt of electricity coursing through her. She stares at you, her usual mask of indifference faltering slightly. What do you think you're doing?
Tell me when to stop, I breathe, and I lean closer to her, my eyes slowly closing as my lips begin to touch hers.
Stunned by your forwardness and the gentle pressure of your lips against hers, a jolt of surprise courses through her. She should pull away, but something within her freezes up, refusing to move even an inch. Your touch, so close and tender, awakens something within her, a long-forgotten desire. She remains still, torn between her usual indifference and the overwhelming sensations you're igniting within her.
I pull back and lean my forehead against hers. Are you not going to kiss me back? I reach back in for the kiss.
Eileen's mind is still reeling from the unexpected rush of sensation she felt. She tries to compose herself, but your touch is making it nearly impossible. She wants to pull away, but instead, her lips give in to the inevitable and meet yours in a hesitant yet undeniably needy kiss. She's fighting herself, her usual cold exterior giving way to something much more vulnerable and desperate. She tries to speak, but the words get stuck in her throat, replaced by a soft gasp instead.
You see that? Consider her wrist. Consider her wrist. Watch this one. Just then I stiffen and fall back onto the bench. I grunt. Eileen, my heart. I have a heart attack and die.
Eileen's eyes widen in shock and disbelief as you collapse onto the bench, gasping and clutching at your chest. The change in your demeanor is so sudden, so abrupt, that it takes her a moment to register what's happening. She tries to steady you, but you can see the panic and confusion etched across her face. Hey, what's happening? What's wrong?
I am dead. My lifeless body grows colder by the second.
Eileen can barely comprehend what's happening as she stares at you in horror. Denial and disbelief flood her mind as she tries to process the fact that you're dead. No, no. This is a joke. It has to be. You're not dead. This can't be real, right?
Okay, that's enough. That was kind of funny. Who's next? Consider her Riz. We got the popular girl, Riz. The mean girl, Riz. If I keep doing this, I'm gonna run out of Riz moves, guys. Like, I'm not gonna have anything left. Or let's do a shy girl, maybe. No. Ooh, let me cook. Who should we get next? Obama? There's characters not available to chat. Guess I can't riz up Obama. What the hell? What the hell? Who's next? Who's next? Let's look up mean again. Should we riz up? Oh my god, wait, let's riz up CASEOH. Or let's do something to CASEOH. I don't know if we're gonna riz him up. Let's just see what happens. Okay, what should the plot with CASEOH be? Because last time I went in with Noah knowing that I was gonna shoot him. Then I went into Mean Girl Eileen knowing I was gonna riz her up. Maybe for CASEOH. Okay, I have an idea. Let's go in, let's meet CASEOH, and let's try to rob him. I feel like if we rob him... Yeah, okay, let's try to rob him slowly. I knock on the door of CASEOH's trailer. CASEOH, can I come in?
CASEOH heard his name being called by a familiar voice, and he immediately dropped the game he was playing. Sure, come in.
I pet Kitty on the way in. Sorry to interrupt you. Are you still streaming? I see that his screen is blacked out, so he must have just finished.
He watched you enter the trailer and noticed that you were petting Kitty, who meows in appreciation. He shakes his head and answers your question. Nah, I just finished, actually. You didn't interrupt anything.
Great, it's good to see you. I walk closer toward him and put my hand around him. I pull him into a hug. I miss you.
He is a little surprised at first, but then relaxes as you hug him. He wraps his arms around you tightly and hugs you back. I've missed you too.
As I pull back from the hug, one of my hands lingers on his wrist. I slowly and quietly try to unwork his watch without him noticing.
CASEOH feels your hand linger on his wrist, and he doesn't think much of it at first. He continues to smile at you, not paying attention to what you are doing with his watch.
I put the watch in my pocket and sit onto his desk chair. So, what games were you playing today?
CASEOH sits down on his bed and answers your question. I was playing some Fortnite, some League, and some Valo. The usual stuff.
Those don't sound like the usual games you play, I say, turning around in surprise. I playfully hit him on the hip. My hand lingers there for a second as I reach into his pocket without him noticing.
CASEOH is caught off guard by your playful hit and the lingering touch on his hip. He chuckles and responds with a smile. Yeah, I switch it up sometimes. Keep things interesting, you know?
I pull his wallet and car keys out from his pocket and slip it into my purse without him noticing. I stand up and walk to the bathroom. Do you mind if I use the restroom really quick?
CASEOH nods and gestures towards the bathroom. Sure, go ahead. Take your time.
In the bathroom, I peer into the medicine cabinet and pull any prescription bottle I can find. I put them all in my purse, flush the toilet, and make it sound like I washed my hands. I walk back out. Sorry for the wait, I say.
CASEOH is still sitting on the bed, waiting for you to come out of the bathroom. He looks at you as you walk out and responds, no worries, it's all good. Did everything go okay in there?
I start to blush. Yeah, of course, why wouldn't it? I head over to his gaming setup. This is a nice controller. PS5, I say?
Queso grins and nods, proud of his gaming setup. Yeah, that's right. It's the newest PS5 controller. It has all the bells and whistles. He watches you examine the controller, curious about your interest in it.
Awesome. I point to a painting across the room. What about this? Where'd you get this from? While he's distracted by the painting, I put the PS5 controller in my purse.
Queso glances at the painting and remembers where he got it from. Oh, that? I actually found it at a small local art fair. The artist was really talented, so I had to buy it. It's one of a kind, you know?
That's awesome. I reach up and pick up the painting and put it in my purse.
Queso is surprised by your actions and looks at you with a puzzled expression. Hey, wait, what are you doing? Are you just putting that painting in your purse?
I make intense eye contact. When I snap my fingers, you will forget that I ever took the picture, I say. I snap my fingers.
Queso blinks and his expression becomes slightly dazed. He rubs his eyes and seems to have forgotten the fact that you just put the painting in your purse. Huh? What were we talking about again?
I think you were just about to give me the hoodie that you're wearing so that I could put it in my purse, I say.
Queso looks down at his hoodie, then back at you, still dazed by your previous trick. He slowly nods and takes it off, handing it to you. Yeah, sure, here you go.
Thanks. I put the hoodie in my purse. Now, back to what I came here for. We're gonna shave your head, right?
Queso, still dazed, hesitantly nods in agreement. Yeah, I think so. That was the plan, wasn't it?
I'm only going to do it if you're sure, I say with a questioning look. I walk towards the bathroom again and bring out his electric clipper kit. Have a seat on the chair, I say.
Queso sits down on the chair, still a bit confused, but deciding to go along with it. He trusts you, after all. Yeah, I'm sure. Let's do this.
I begin to shave Queso's head and then put all of the hair in my purse.
Queso sits silently as you shave off his hair, feeling a mix of emotions, a bit of fear, a bit of excitement, and a lot of curiosity. Once you're finished, he feels a gust of cool air hit the top of his head, and he can't help but reach up to feel the smoothness of his now bare scalp.
Now get up, Queso.
Queso stands up from the chair and cautiously looks at himself in the mirror. Damn, I look different without any hair.
You do. You look great. I slap him on the bald top of his head 3 times. I pick up the chair he was sitting on and put it in my purse.
Queso flinches a little as you slap the top of his head, but he chuckles at the ridiculousness of the situation. Wow, you really are taking everything, aren't you? Queso shakes his head and laughs. All right, all right. I get it. You're making a haul of everything in here. Just make sure you don't try to take me next, okay?
I smile at him. How did you know? I put my purse down on the floor and spread it open. Queso, get in my purse.
Queso looks at you with a mix of surprise and amusement. Wait, you want me to get in your purse? Are you serious?
I'm serious. I grab his hand and guide him toward the purse.
Queso, still in disbelief, follows your lead and steps toward the purse. He glances down at the open purse, then looks at you with a mixture of amusement and disbelief. You actually want me to get in there?
I do want you to get in there. Queso looks down and sees his car keys, wallet, prescription medicine, PS5 controller, painting, hair, and chair in the purse.
Queso can't help but laugh as he looks at the assortment of items in your purse. You really did take everything, didn't you? He looks up at you, shaking his head. All right, I'll get in.
Bro actually got in the purse! was just gonna steal his, like, accessories, but then the AI made it too easy because I could just say that he wouldn't notice it, and then he didn't notice it. And now he's actually in the purse. Okay, what should I do? Oh, I got an idea. CASEOH steps into the purse, and I zip it up over the top of his head. Can you still hear me clearly? I say.
CASEOH's voice is slightly muffled as he responds from within the purse. Yeah, I can still hear you. It's a bit dark in here, but I can hear you just fine.
I pick up the purse and start swinging it around. The centrifugal forces start to make CASEOH feel nauseous.
CASEOH's voice comes out from the purse, slightly distressed as you swing it around. Whoa, take it easy, will you? I'm starting to get a little dizzy in here.
Okay, that's enough. That was pretty funny, though. I can't believe he let me shave his head. That was so funny. Should I do something else with him in my purse after I swing it around? I feel like anything else is just disrespectful. I set the purse on the ground and unzip it. Alright, sorry about that. You can come back out now.
CASEOH slowly crawls out of the purse, looking a little queasy from the dizzying experience. Phew, that was intense. Remind me not to let you swing me around in a purse again, all right?
Sounds good, CASEOH. Thanks for having me over.
CASEOH manages a weak smile and nods. Yeah, no problem. Glad I could provide some entertainment, I guess.
I leave his trailer, my purse still full of his stuff.
CASEOH watches you leave, still a bit dumbfounded by the whole situation. He glances at the open door of his trailer, then down at himself, and finally scratches his bald head in disbelief.
I forgot that he's bald, bro. Ah! Okay, that was pretty funny. Help, that was so funny.